Source Force Podcast. The Source Force Podcast. The Source Force Podcast. The Source Force Podcast.
The Source Force.
Bob Makin, welcome to the Source Force Podcast.
Thank you.
You are currently the General Manager of the UK for Behaviour
Interactive.
Oh, Behaviour Interactive.
Behaviour Interactive, yeah. We're not a gym brand.
But where did it all begin for you? What is your story from leaving school to where you are now?
Before school, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it all began many, many moons ago. I was at school and I saw a poster for Animex.
Yeah.
The first ever Animex. So that would have been, I think it's 26 years old this year, so it would have been like 1999, 2000-ish. So Animex is the international animation festival at Teesside Uni. So I kind of got interested from that and realised it was something that you could do and it was here. So that kind of got me into wanting to do animation. I've always been playing games. I've always wanted to make games as well. So from I say young age, I was quite old by that time for a child. For like 15, 16, I knew I wanted to go into games or animation. So I'd focused everything that I did around that career. So when I went to school, I focused on like art, maths, physics, really enjoyed them. Took that to college and sixth form where I did like graphics and I did acting because it's quite a big thing in animation. You've got to act it all out. As well as IT. So I was always going down like art, IT and acting route. And then I went to Teesside Uni. I looked at a few universities, but obviously when you got this on your doorstep, so I'm from Middlesbrough, and you got this on your doorstep, then why go somewhere else? And it's renowned as one of the best in the world for games and animation. So, so I went there and did a degree in animation. And it all just went from there. Just kind of like didn't want to do anything else, didn't think about anything else. I didn't know what to do, game design or animation, but I decided to go down the animation route because I thought if I could work in games or film. So I was always like, I grew up watching Toy Story came out when I was like 11, so it was always like, wow, what a thing. So I had that evolution of games going from pixels to what they are now, hyper-realistic as like through my childhood and like adulthood and stuff. So I've seen it all and that's kind of like evolved with me. So it's just always been an interest in knowing you can do it here.
Yeah, totally. When you look at the courses that Teesside University offer, they're absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah. Totally. And there's an industry here as well. Yeah. Not many people realise the type of games that are built here, which I'll get onto later. But back then, there was big companies. There was Acclaim, which was one of the biggest companies in the world. It's kind of like the equivalent of EA now, which was FIFA.
Yeah.
Acclaim were making games like Shadow Man and Turok, and I think South Park might be made here as well a little bit. NBA Jam and Street Fighter and things like that were made in Teesside.
You don't realise that.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was all through the 90s and early noughties. So knowing that kind of like inspired me. It was on my doorstep. And again, best kept secret. No one really knew about it. I knew about it because I read the games magazines and it said made in Teesside and things like that. So just having that there on your doorstep was really inspiring. And again, there was nothing else I wanted to do.
No, that is so cool. So that was your dream job from
kind
of, that is brilliant.
Yeah.
That is so
I used to say I wanted to wear a suit, but I never.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know
could
why.
Still wear a suit being animated.
Like weddings and funerals. But, yeah.
So what was the jump from leaving university? Was it difficult to land your first role or did it kind of give you good?
Yes and no. So when I was at university, I was working at game. So that was a big part. So obviously the video game shop, that was a big part of like my learning because I learned how to. I've always had a little job. So from 15, I used to empty bins at Caswell's.
Oh
yeah. That was crazy, like with our bare hands.
No.
Yeah. Shop floor. It was good though. It was good fun. But and I worked in bar jobs and things like that. But then game was a really big one for me because I was learning. I was on in the trenches of the industry, the games industry. Literally selling. So all these people all over the world are making all these games, but then I'm selling it to mums and dads in Darlow, at T53. That's our old game code.
And I think like knowing what's gone into it as well. Like you buy a game and you should play it for fun, but you actually realise the hard work that's
well, I didn't then. I knew
right,
because that was obviously before I was in the industry, but I knew how they were developed and saw some parts of it. It was more about seeing the buying patterns and seeing what people bought, and and that was really interesting. And I don't think I really appreciated it at the time, but I look back now and think I actually learned a lot working in retail of the industry. So I was there for quite a few years, and I actually got offered a job before I finished uni.
Wow.
Which I turned down. I won't say the company, but they were a bit strange with the recruitment process, and I was like, I don't know if I want to work there. So I turned it down. $9,000 a year. I was earning more working in game. So I was like, so I turned that down. I thought, well, if I got a job before I finish uni, it's going to be dead easy. It wasn't. I ended up doing an online course I just started called Animation Mentor, which was taught by people from like Disney and Pixar. So that was, because I was looking at masters, but this was a bit cheaper and it was way better. So I did that. And through that, I mean, it was all online, so it was very normal. Bear in mind, this would have been like 2008, 2009. Online learning is not a big thing. But back then, it's kind of like the norm now. We were using webcams and headsets and everything. Working through the day at game, doing that on a night, and then you were getting taught by people who were literally working at Disney and Pixar, and
so cool.
I think my ILM and all these, working on Transformers, and then coming home and doing mentoring for us and saying what to fix. Yeah. The big thing from that though was the network. So everyone I met through that has gone on to have crazy careers, and that helped me get my first job. So my first job in games was Jagex. Well, I did a few bits and bobs around. So I worked on a short film, did a few little things, but the first proper job was Jagex on RuneScape. So I was an animator on RuneScape. So I moved down to Cambridge. Got there, did it for a few months, and was like, don't really like being an animator. I think I'm quite a people person. Yeah. And when you're animating, when you're just working on games, sometimes you're just doing the job.
Totally.
And I got a bit bored. So I left Jagex, which was very silly, because I should never leave a job before you got another job, but I just did it. Moved back home. And I was in the pub with my dad in Sadburge. This is a very sliding doors moment, because I nearly didn't go. I think I was playing Call of Duty somewhere with my mates on the Xbox. And he went, oh, you coming to the pub? I was like, no, all right then. And when I got there was a guy in the pub who was talking about video games. Yeah. And I was like, that's weird. It's a little village pub. No one knows what.
It's not totally.
I was like, who you are? And he went, he said, I'm Jason Falkus. I was like, all right. And he used to run Acclaim. Teesside that I was talking about earlier. Wow. So I was like, whoa, proper starstruck. So basically, I got him drunk and got him to promise me a job. So ended up going to work for it. There's more to it than that. But ended up going to work for Jason. And there's three brothers. So there's Jason, Darren and Matt. Ended up going to work for them at Iguana, it was called then. That was just down the road in Borough. That got acquired by Team 17, so we all ended up working at Team 17, working on Worms, driving down the road to Wakefield every day from here for an hour and a half. So that was something. And then did that for almost 2 years, and then got bored and decided to start a company.
That's brilliant.
My mate Darren, So,
and did you have any prior business experience?
No, wow. It was just boredom. It was just kind of something that we were looking around. We saw the opportunities through Digital City, and what they do. They give you funding. They give you what was it, like business advice. It's a bit like what Tees Valley Labs are doing now. In fact, it's pretty much the same, but Tees Valley Labs is a much better version of it. And yes, we just went for it. Wow. We were just like, we got offered jobs at Ubisoft in Newcastle. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to say Newcastle on a Teesside podcast. Is that all right?
Okay. Yeah, we'll accept it just
today. So we got offered jobs there, but we had this opportunity. We got this opportunity as well where we passed we got through. And to be fair, there was the recruiter at Ubisoft said to me, do that, and you know that's that you never know what's going to happen. If it doesn't work, come back. So 13 years later, I'm still waiting to go back to. I might just rock up to Ubisoft one day, like, all right, I'm ready now.
Yeah,
So
no,
one day.
Definitely. And what was like the hardest part going through like a job where you're going to get paid at the end of the month, working for someone, to creating your own business?
Everything.
Yeah. I think coming from like, you've got the sort of skills, but then the business skills on that
that's
side.
it. So we knew we could make the games.
Yeah.
And do projects with people, but we didn't know everything else around it. Yeah. So what I think I learn a lot by accident and just through experience. So I did a lot of networking, but accidental networking. Like I was just going to events and just talking to people and making connections and making new friends in the industry. So that when we created Sockmonkey, we had people to call on from day one. And actually we got our first project literally on day one for $5,000. Yeah.
Wow.
So doing that, and again, I wasn't setting out to network. I was just talking to people, just making connections at these events. And it's just evolved from there. And I look back and I realise that, you come to ththese business courses and classes, and I've looked at MBAs and stuff, and I'm like, well, I know all this. I've accidentally done all this throughout the last few years. So the big thing really, the most difficult, I'll tell you what the most difficult thing was, knowing what we were doing was good. Because we didn't know what we were doing.
Wow,
so we did a good job at, I said, we knew how to make games. We knew Darren's a fantastic programmer. He's now tech director at Behaviour Interactive. So he's, we've both gone on. And then, it was just one of those things where we were making up as we went along.
Yeah.
And a few years in, because we thought we'll do it for 6 months. All goes wrong, we'll go get jobs. A few years in, we were like, we seem to be quite good at this. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
We started hiring a few people, so then that kind of evolved. We by year 5, we were like, okay, should we take this seriously now and become a proper company? And we got a board of directors. We got some investment money from Mercia. We hired a chairman in Ron Ashtiani, who used to be founder of Atom Hawk, and he was acquired by Sumo. So we hired Darren Falkus, who we used to work with at Iguana and Team 17. So it was all of a sudden we were like, okay, anyway, it was
real.
Looking back, it was a bit surreal. I don't like you saying it was lucky, because I don't think it was. I think it was competence that we were good at what we were doing, but we didn't realise. Going back, if we planned it, it would have been like bang, 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 bang.
Yeah,
we could have done it a lot better.
Yeah.
But we blagged it a bit at the beginning, and then we grew and worked out what we were doing. And eventually, like, by year 5, we're like, okay, we get it now.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
And did you have any sort of setbacks and challenges along the way?
Oh yeah, every other day.
Yeah. How do you overcome them? And like, I'm just going to do this. Get on.
You just put it right down, throw it away, and worry about it later. Well, that's, I think, you kind of do. You kind of just have to get on with it. Yeah, of course, there was projects lost. There was people left out of the blue. There was all sorts. But it's day-to-day business, and I think that's something I've learned now, is when we're working on things now and it's like, we've got this big contract, and we're like, yeah, we haven't. We've got potential big contracts, Whereas before, you'd get really excited and start planning for it, and then it failed, and you were like, oh no, what have we done? Any step back, she just started to take it in its stride and just really go with it. But it's resilience is the big thing.
Wow.
That's the big thing I've learned.
Wow, no, that's spot on.
Just don't panic.
Yeah.
It's like Hitchhiker's Guide. Just don't panic.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So if we've got any aspiring animators who are kind of stuck in a rut, that they're trying to develop the skill, but they're really struggling, What advice would you give to them? Was there any skills that took you a long time to develop?
Keep trying. I think, the big thing as well, I don't think I was a good animator. I think I was all right animator. I got a job I did professionally, but I think I was better when I said I left animation, I went into production, which is like project management. Way better at that. But the background in animation, like I understood how the games worked then and what it was like to work on the front line and do all that stuff. So I think any just do it. Just make things. I mean, that's for anyone. It's not just animators. For any type of creative, just make it, even if it's nights and weekends. I mean, I was working, and I was probably stressed to hell, but but I was working 24/7 on things. And if I was working a game, I was working on animation evenings, weekends to try and break into the industry. It's probably terrible advice, burn yourself into the ground, but that's what worked
when you're
for
young,
us.
though,
yeah, that's it.
You've got nothing to lose.
No, you got nothing to lose, and I think just do it. And I think these days it's so much easier to get software's free, things you can download. There's tutorials everywhere. We had nothing of that.
Yeah.
And tutorials on YouTube and all this stuff. Just go for it, definitely. But also network. That's the biggest thing that people don't do is. Just get yourself out there.
Totally.
Go to Animex, go to Gamebridge, go to all these little events that are around the area. You don't have to go to, we go to GDC every year, it costs thousands. You don't have to go to them. In fact, you probably won't get anywhere going to them. Go to the little local ones and just network, just talk. Don't necessarily look for a job, just make those connections. Because I've met people, so Gamebridge is the local games networking event.
Yeah.
It's literally in the university. We just hire out the bar. It's twice a year, and it's brilliant. And I've met people there, and it's really good to see. We had our company. You see students who are coming through. Can I have a job? Can I have a job? It's like, no, we don't have any jobs. But now they're the head of this company or the seniors designer at this company, and it's like it's really good to see people evolve. Internships, all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's tough at the minute because games has kind of crashed, but it does show signs of coming back. But I just think the big thing really, keep creating, get your portfolio, evolve your portfolio. So get rid of all the stuff you did 2 years ago. It's rubbish now, and this one's a lot better. Put like your top 3, 4, 5 projects on, and that's enough.
Yeah, wow, that's brilliant. Yeah. And you've won many an award, but one of them that sticks out for me is you won the best place to work.
Yeah.
So twice. Wow. Yeah. So how important for you is like company culture and people?
That's my favourite award. Yeah, we won it in 2022 as Sockmonkey, and then we won it in 2025 as Behaviour. So I should say we got to 10 years as Sockmonkey, and then we got acquired by Behaviour. So that was a big thing. We'll talk about that later. But so it's the same company. When I talk about Sockmonkey and Behaviour, it's just like evolution of it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest award for me. That's the one I want. That's my golden goose. I chase it every year. And
there's so many companies in the running for that.
Yeah. I mean, it's so there's two parts to that award. Is we put something in. So I write the pitch. I write the application. Yeah. That's about 20% of the marks. The rest of it is on staff. So they send a survey to the staff, questions, and if you get a high score on each of them, that's worth 80%. I think you have to get like 85% to get the badge. So anybody can get the badge if you get over that.
Yeah.
So it's not like we were the only best place. It was like you're at the level.
Yeah.
So there's a few, but it's still, there's still only, I think there was 8 this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 8 or maybe 10 this year. So it's still pretty prestigious. Yeah. But then we won the CSR award, so there's 5 awards every year, and that was really good. I wasn't expecting that at all. That was amazing. That. So you get the badge, and then there's the 5 awards you can win. That one though, because it's staff that are answering, it's not us in the comms team and stuff, and me writing. Oh, we're good at this because we do all this. That is like pure. That's the big one for me, and winning it again. So we won it in 2022 as Sockmonkey. So we evolved the company and became the best place to work, one of the best places to work in the UK. Then we got acquired. And when you go through an acquisition, it's a roller coaster, and it's very emotional, and some staff leave naturally because they don't want to go from big small company to big company, all that stuff. So we knew we were never going to win it in 2023. 2024, the industry crashed and no one won it. Like, I genuinely don't think anybody won it in 2024. So then we got it back this year, and that was huge. It was kind of like everything's settled down, everyone's happy. Now we can build on what we started. So hopefully we're going to start keep winning it every year. That's my goal now. That is the big. I'm pleased you picked up on this. That is the key one for me. Because if we can keep going with that.
Because it's like if you're playing a sports team, you can be the top goal scorer, but the player's player. That's the one you want,
it's man of the match every week. Yeah,
definitely.
It's that's the one that I want every year.
Yeah,
definitely.
No, that's amazing. And how would you say your leadership? We'll talk about your acquisition.
Yeah.
And how would you say your leadership style has evolved with that from a small company and getting bigger?
I don't know if it's I don't know really. You'll have to ask the staff.
The
gang upstairs.
Yeah.
I think I've always been quite, as I said, I'm a people person. I like talking to people, so I do try and get around everyone. It's not easy because we're 50-50 remote, more like 60-40. Like most of them are in Teesside on the northeast, and the rest are remote around the UK still. So it's not always easy to call people and chat with them. And get them involved. Some of them don't want to get involved, which is fine. But it's just talking to them and learning and listening. That's the big thing. Listening to people. And then there's two big things I think from it is we listen a lot. So behaviour, we listen a lot, and we take note of everything everyone says. Mm-hmm. Some of it you can't help. Some of it is like, that's life, unfortunately. But some of it we use, and we do go, never thought of that, and we make a, we look into things, we involve things, and we do Q&As probably about every 6 months. We do this big Q&A, we get everyone together, and we say, right, this is, question answers, get everyone down, but then we do a thing called You Said We Did, and we just literally go through, okay, well, you pointed this out, so we fixed it.
Yeah.
And it's weird, since we introduced that a year or two ago, we've always done that. But until we said to people, why haven't you done this? Like, well, actually, we did it last year, just no one's noticed.
Yeah.
So you got to really let people know when you've made these improvements and stuff. And I think that's a big thing we're doing is we're constantly improving. We're constantly looking for ways to improve. So even its benefits, or if it's just working environment, or how we do things.
Totally.
And that's something that was something that we had at Sockmonkey, which attracted behaviour to us. Was that company culture of never standing still, and always improving.
Yeah.
And it's even things as daft as like, what were we talking about the other day? Just like, I can't even remember, but just daft little things like, can we do this? Or can we get oat milk? Of course we can get oat milk.
Yeah,
just no one's ever asked.
Totally, yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
So, things like that you don't sit there as a giant global technological company and go, "Can I some oat milk?" It's like, oh well, it wasn't really top of our agenda, but it's like a quid. Totally. Anything like that, absolutely, we just go for it, and we listen to everyone and everything.
No, that's absolutely amazing. And can we talk about that transition from Sockmonkey into like this big sort of global? Yeah. How did that come about?
Well, so we were talking to... Well, there's two parts of it. So we were talking to Behaviour for a while. Yeah. So we were trying to get work from them unsuccessfully. So we were talking for about 2.5 years before.
And whereabouts were they based at that?
They're in Canada, so they're in Montreal. So, and then when we became a proper company, as I was saying earlier, we made, as we were evolving, we made a list, and we said, right, what we want to do is get to the point where we can be either acquired, or we want to get to the point where we can be acquired. Yeah. Now, that wasn't let's sell and make loads of money. That was like, let's get good enough that someone wants to buy us. We might not sell, but if we're that good, we're doing a good job.
Definitely.
On that list, I was looking at this the other day. On that list, we wrote down, I think it was 6 or 8 companies, and we literally listed them. Said, we want to get the level where these companies are interested in us. And Behaviour's on that list, which I totally forgot about. So then that was 3 years before it all went through, and then we were talking them, and then one day they said to us, "Oh, let's catch up." Actually, originally they said we're too small. I mean, we were about 30 at that point. We ended up at 50 at maximum. So it started off with me and Darren. It's just the two of us. Grew to 50, and then they're like, "Oh, actually, we might have a project for you." So we met with them. We talked to them, and they were like, "Yeah, great." And then we just kept talking throughout the year. And then we went to a conference in Brighton called Develop, and I wasn't actually there. So we had our two biz devs going, Darren Falkus and Danny Pratt, and they called me and they were like really panicking. It was calling like, "Oh, Bob, they don't want to do work with us." It said, "What if we just acquired you?" And I was like, "What?" Anyway, it was crazy. So basically what happened was they were looking for students. They wanted to grow. They were looking for students. So based in Canada, they wanted to come into Europe, looking for a studio in the UK, talking to us, known us for a few years, like what we were up to. And it was actually, we won the award, that Best Places to Work award in 2022. So Danny went to pick up the trophy, the frame, went to the meeting. She had she was like, "Oh, sorry, I'm late. We've just won the Best Place to Work." And apparently that's like one of the big things. Went, right, okay, we're on a winner here.
That is brilliant.
So it just evolved from there, and that was from, when was that, July, and then we went through all the meetings, all the negotiations, all that stuff. They came over and met all the staff, told all the staff. So that's quite rare, because we know sometimes they just go, "By the way, these are your new bosses now."
Yeah.
They came over, wanted to meet all the staff, wanted to talk to them all, wanted to get every single person on board. This is what's going to happen. This is how we're going to do it. And then we signed February 23, so it was 10 years and a week since we founded it.
Wow,
so
that's
it was
brilliant.
we just missed. I was trying to get on the 10th anniversary, but we just missed it. So then we became. I mean, to be fair, Remy wanted us to keep the name. So Remy's the CEO, our CEO, Remy Rasheen. He wanted us to keep the name Sockmonkey, and I said to them, got another story. If we're going to do it, we need to do it, and we need to become Behaviour, because I didn't want to be Sockmonkey, a Behaviour Interactive Studio.
Yeah, stuck in the middle.
I was like, where? Yeah, exactly. Where are we? Where do we belong? I was like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
So it was my choice to kill off Sockmonkey. But yeah, one of the things we had to do was, I mean, we were talking about stress earlier and resilience. During this time, the reason I wasn't at Develop was because my wife actually got breast cancer. So she was going through chemotherapy. It was during COVID. It was 18 months to 2 years in COVID. So couldn't go anywhere and get it. It would affect her. So I didn't go to Develop. Then they were like, "You've got to come to Gamescom," which is in Germany, in Cologne, to meet the team.
Yeah.
And I was like, "I can't." I went, "Listen," and Rach was like, that's my wife, she was like, "You've got to do it." It's like, okay. So I did a 40-hour round trip door to door, so leaving my house to returning back.
Really?
Yeah, it was knackering. But I went into this room, there's a huge table, about 20 people, and we had to present the company. There was 3 of us, and it was just all the bigwigs and all investors in Behaviour. And I think I've been told since that impressed them, that I just went, I've got to go. I've got to go to Germany and do this. But that was intense. It hit me then, and that was crazy. I'm sat in this room with CEOs and investment from crazy, massive VCs and stuff, and it was just like, whoa, this is real.
Yeah.
And I presented the studio, but I also presented Teesside. I said, we're here. This is why, and I showed them the airport, showed them all the things that's going on, and they really like that. And it's one of the reasons they wanted to stay here, was they like the underdog story, and we're all pushing upwards, and making this studio and investing in the town and things like that. So yeah, it was a bit of a match made in heaven really by the end of it.
Wow, that's brilliant. And it's hard to find a big company that aligns with not only your targets but the company culture.
Yeah.
Wanting to talk to everyone and get someone on board.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. So this industry is very project based, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
And there's quite a lot of freelancers out there as well now, isn't there? How can you navigate that uncertainty of when the next project's going to come? And
I mean, you can't really. You've just got to take calculated risks. So it's more of a case of volume. So that's one of the reasons as we were growing, we got Darren Falkus in, and then Danny was working for us. I think Danny originally joined us as like marketing communications, and we realised she had a bit of a knack for the business as well. So we started taking her on as like a junior biz dev. So there was 3 of us going to these shows, and you just spread your bets. So if you think you go to a conference and you might pick up 10 contacts, and you think maybe one of them converts.
Yeah.
Well, then Darren comes along, and all of a sudden we're getting 20 contacts and 2. And then Danny comes along, and we're getting 3, So you just play by numbers. So that was the way we approached it. But then obviously, as you're getting more mature as a company, as you do more project, that's the big thing. It's all portfolio. It's like I was saying earlier with the students and people trying to get in. It's all portfolio based. Same with the company.
Yeah.
As we were doing bigger and better games, we were becoming bigger, more attractive to different studios to work with us. So it's just volume, and then maturity as a studio as well. It gets easier as you go.
Yeah. It's not like you're searching for people; people are coming to you.
It starts to be like that, yeah. And repeat business. So we did a lot of work for Tiny Build, which is a publisher. We did a good job with them. So they were like, "Oh, do you want to do this game now?" And then after that, do you want to do this game? Yeah. So that helps, and that helped us to grow a little bit because you knew you could always rely on a client to give you consistent work. So you're always going to get X amount in a year. Mm-hmm. So okay, we'll keep a team of 10 on that, and then we can grow a little bit, and then you can, so there's things like that. Yeah. But it's just slow and steady, and just the big thing as well, investing in ourselves. So we reinvented the logo, the website, the little catalogue we made. I can't remember the name, like the portfolio pitch decks and stuff, and just making more and more of an effort to do that. One thing we didn't do was own IP, so creating our own games. Yeah. We tried. We didn't spend too much money or time on it because we saw so many people around us doing that and failing. Incredibly difficult to break into. Yeah. So we focused purely as a service company, and just helping others, and it worked. And ultimately, we did make a game. It was called Fish Tanks. Almost signed it with a few big people, but then it was local. So it was like couch co-ops. You'd sit next to each other. Yeah. Then COVID hit, and you couldn't sit next to each other on a couch. Yeah. We couldn't have multiplayer because it wasn't designed for that. It would cost a fortune. So eventually, we sold it to someone else. It was just annoying. We lost money on it, but it was always designed as a portfolio piece. Because we're like, we've done this. Yeah, yeah. So, well, actually, that's another thing. When we always did bits of games, it was like, we do the code for these guys, do a port. Port's like taking it from like PC to consoles. Oh, okay. So we do the port for them. We do some artwork for these guys. And then eventually we start doing art and code for them, or bits of a project. And then Fish Tanks was kind of designed to be, look what we've made from scratch. And then it evolved, and to be honest, that helped us. And ultimately, Sockmonkey, it ended up with us getting CoComelon. Oh wow! So the preschool show. Yeah.
I'm gonna have that stuck in my head all day.
So we were doing that, and you got all the songs at work, and then I was going home when I had a little kid, and she was watching it, and I was just like, oh my. But that was a big deal, and that was all us. That was 100%. Wow. We heard they were looking for a game. We negotiated. We pitched. We negotiated. We worked with them for a year. It was really good. And it's out on Nintendo Switch. So that was, and working with Nintendo on that as well. So that was a huge part, and that was going to be the next steps of Sockmonkey as well. So that was pretty exciting.
Wow, that is amazing. Yeah. And thinking back to when you first kind of came into this industry, we've had so much development in recent years, and especially with AI. Mm-hmm. Would you say that's more of a hindrance or a help? You see AI videos and they're not a patch on any animation that could be. Oh no, they're rubbish.
I've been watching the Avengers League trailers, and they're just so AI, but they're not. It's just AI nonsense. Totally. I think you always get these things. You always get tech, and games is interesting because it always seems to be at the forefront of these things. People are like, oh, it's going to change the world. And I remember at JagX, it was HTML, I can't remember if it was 3 or 5. HTML 3 or 5 came out, and everyone was like, that's it, we're screwed. RuneScape's dead. RuneScape's still $1 billion game now, and that was 20 years ago. You always get these tech evolutions, and always starts with nonsense and jargon and people selling these big things. And then it'll settle down, and then we'll start to get really cool things from it. You know, you look back to like multiplayer games when that first came out in the like late 90s. It didn't really work. But then Xbox put a lot of money into it, and then all of a sudden Xbox Live came out, and then it started to evolve, and then you ended up having Call of Duty, and then it evolved into things like Fortnite today. So I think we'll get something really, I was going to say really cool, but I think it'll be really evolutionary. I think that'll be next step. But I don't think it'll be what everyone thinks it is.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know what it is. The best use of AI in games I've seen so far is something that I think it's Ubisoft are doing, where they are using it to create like scripts for some non-playable characters, so people you just talk to. So you go up to a character in a game, you click A, and it's like, "Hi, I'm Bob," blah blah blah. And then you press it again, and he's got like 3 or 4 lines, and it's really annoying. It gets repetitive. But what they're doing is creating the character. So it's not, and it's going to get rid of jobs. I think it's going to evolve jobs.
Yeah.
So what they're doing, instead of narrative designers writing those lines, the narrative designers are writing the character, the story
like
behind the
prompt
character, and how they would talk and how they would act and all this stuff. So then the AI is using that information to generate. So when you're as a player talking to the character, it's like a natural conversation like we're having now. But it's not people losing the jobs, it's just evolved. And I think that's where we're going to get cool things.
Yeah.
We're doing loads. I think everyone's just doing research. I think there's some people out there just doing crazy stuff and just trying to make a fast buck. But I think the best thing is research.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's looking into it. We've looked at it and gone, but you know, it's going to be one of those things.
I know, and it takes so long, doesn't it? It's like the internet. Like you could be 20 years down the line.
Exactly. And that's it. Look where the internet was when it first started and where it is now.
Definitely.
And I do think AI. I'm 50-50 on it.
I know.
I can't decide if it's a bubble.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit better than a bubble, but we'll see.
Yeah. No. Definitely.
I'm not like in the it's going to take all our jobs.
No,
I don't think so.
No. Definitely.
especially in art, you can't separate the humanity of creating something.
Definitely.
Unless it does and I'm wrong, then we're all screwed, but never mind.
Yeah. So if you think back to sort of aspiring animators, and maybe drawing upon AI and research, what skills would you say for them to develop today to become successful?
I wouldn't touch AI.
No.
I would still. I think. Well, I mean, that's my main concern is young people leaning on AI too much and losing the hard coding skills because AI does it for them.
Yeah.
But then who's going to code the AI unless it becomes self-efficient? But then we're in Terminator and we're all screwed anyway. So yeah, I think just as I was saying earlier, just hard graft. It's the same as anything. It's just on computers. You know, if you're a game designer or an animator or whatever, you need to prove your core skills. I think for someone who's a game designer, it might be different. I would use AI then, because you could use it to create something to make it look a little bit cleaner than, you know, you might be a game designer, you're not an animator. You might find something that can do something quick, put it in your thing, say, oh yeah, I used AI to do this. But as long as I can play it and go, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Whereas if I was an animator, I wouldn't touch AI. I would do it all hand-coded. So you be a bit common sense with it, but you know, use it as a tool to your advantage rather than leaning on it too much.
Yeah. And for the next sort of 5 to 10 years,
what's
your kind of goals? Where do you see the biggest opportunities?
It's a good question. What, in games as a general?
I
think it's just going to continue to grow. I think that thing I was talking about, the Ubisoft narrative thing, I think that's where we're going to see. We're going to see an evolution of how we play. And I don't know what that's going to be. But that's what happens in this. Every 5 to 10 years, there's a big shift. And you could see going from 2D to 3D, and then it was online, and then it was the big ones now is like games as a service, where it's just a constantly living game. We've got one of them in Dead by Daylight at Behaviour now, so it's something. It's 10 years next year, so it's constantly evolving. So I think that's the next. It's the next big thing. I think the other big thing though is like the continuation of indies. So 1, 2 small amounts of teams making big games and stuff. That's always going to happen. But yeah, it's and also the big thing that leads us is the consoles. So you look at the Switch. I mean, that came out nearly 10 years ago. That changed everything because all of a sudden you can pick it up and take it with you. So that changes how you play and be more social. So it's all an evolution, and that's the best thing about games. It doesn't stop.
Yeah,
It
that's
really
what
does.
it's
I mean,
always something new.
You look what we were starting on when I started about 20 years ago. It's totally different to what we're doing today. So it's always
it's trying
changing.
to time it right to jump onto that next curve, but then you're like,
yeah.
I want to keep this.
exactly. So one of those things. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I knew, I'd be
Totally.
absolutely loaded.
Absolutely, no, definitely. So we come to our final question,
Okay.
and it's a question that we ask
my gosh.
every podcast. And it's, if you could go back to your younger self and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
Buy Bitcoin.
Yes. No, yeah.
Obviously.
Totally, yeah.
Don't eat the chicken pizza at Andy's 23rd birthday.
Oh, I don't even know.
It's put me off chicken pizza for life. I don't know. I think have more confidence in what you're doing. I was never someone. I'm not scared to make mistakes. I think that's the biggest advice I can give to young people is make mistakes and learn from it.
Yeah.
Don't be ashamed to make mistakes. But I think for me, it was being more confident in what you're doing. 'Cause I think I'm always second guessing, and it turns out 13 years on we're still going, so we've done something right. But well, maybe that's a good thing that I was second guessing. So maybe we didn't make stupid mistakes. So I don't know really. But I think just knowing that, maybe I'll just tell myself that everything happens for a reason. Everything will work out.
Yeah.
And even I always thought, even if Sockmonkey failed at any point, we've done it for a few years and we've got the experience, so we could go out and get a job from that. And the knowledge you have from running your own business gives you such a huge advantage to anybody else. If you are exactly the same skill level as someone else, but you've got a bit of knowledge of how to run a business, I think I'd hire you above the other person straight away, because you just get it. You get the sales and everything that goes on behind it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what my advice would be.
No.
But other than that,
Ride the wave, yeah.
Just ride the wave, yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, just enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Enjoy it. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Yeah, just go with the flow.
That's brilliant. And thank you so much for your time today on the
thank you.
podcast and sharing your story. It's very inspirational.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Source Force.